Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the She Runs Strong podcast with myself, Shona Hendricks, and my colleague and friend, Nicky Friedman. Nicky, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Hello, how are you? Yes, really good and excited to chat to Rachel today. And I think this will be a really nice one. How are you doing
Yeah,
today?
no, definitely very, very good. Also, very excited to jump into this coaching call today with one of our Coach Perry members, or should I say ex-Coach Perry members? But Rachel was one of the original members who joined in the Running Through Menopause training framework, and so really looking forward to chatting to her. She's done some phenomenal things. She's done a run across Scotland with 7 of her friends, of her female friends, average age 54, which I loved that. So she's ventured into a run across Wales and is soon venturing into another one, which we'll tap into in a little bit. But she's got a really cool story, and really excited to chat to her a little bit around what has worked for her through this menopause phase, and yeah, so looking forward to chatting. So let me bring her on, Nicky, and then we can jump straight into it if we can. So Rachel, how are you doing today? Welcome to the She Runs Strong podcast.
Hi there. Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Hello.
Yeah, you? Yeah.
Nice to have you here, Rachel. Rachel, let's just start off so everyone just gets to know you a little bit. Tell us a little bit about you, yourself, your family life, and then perhaps we can dive into your running history and your running journey.
Yeah, I'm 57. I turned 57 a couple of weeks ago. My background is sort of outdoor education. I worked in outdoor education for about 16 years, so outdoor centres, taking kids out and about. So I've always been quite an active person. Grew up in the Yorkshire Dales, where we actually had fell races in our primary school sports. So yeah,
Oh, wow.
so I've always enjoyed running, and particularly trail running. And yeah, then I kind of got into running properly in my late 20s. Started going to circuit training in a leisure centre in Tenby. I live in Pembrokeshire, luckily I live in Pembrokeshire. And the lady around the leisure centre started a ladies' running club. So that was great. And then the men wanted to join because they didn't have anything. So then it got more serious. And yes, and then so we started doing quite a lot of running, doing a few events. And then there was a triathlon club, fairly new one, that's set up in the north of Pembrokeshire. And they didn't really have anyone to compete against. So they used to sort of get in touch with us and say, hey, do you want to come and we'll put on a triathlon and race against you guys? So we went and did that, and I did actually tend to win the ladies. It was only very small key stuff, but you know, it kind of gave me an insight. So then I got into triathlon. So 1998, Wales had this event called the Tour of Wales. So they had about 8-10 triathlons. So I went and did that, which I really enjoyed, and I did actually win that, but I think it's probably because I did more events than anyone else, because you got points for every for every event that you did. But I got a plate with my name on.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, and I did actually win one triathlon outright. I was actually the first lady, so I did. Yeah, so I was okay at that. But I think the running was probably my strongest. People would overtake me on the bike, and I'd kind of wind them in a bit on the run. But yeah, so I enjoyed that, and so that was 1998. And at the end of that year, we all did the Dublin Marathon as well, which I got everything wrong on that, but I did it. Went off too fast, tried to chase people who were faster than me, and but I was naive. If I'd known Coach Perry then, I probably would have done better. But we didn't really, do any training properly. Yeah, so that was kind of the start of running and triathlon. Then kids came along, so that always makes life harder. Balancing full-time job, I was managing a centre by then. I was actually sort of centre manager, so doing evenings, balancing young kids. So I just had to run when I could, really. And then as they got older, I suppose I got back into it a bit more. I did do a bit of cycling. I was in a cycling club, so I've cycled London to Amsterdam, London to Paris with them. So that was quite cool.
Very cool.
And then I started doing interval training with my club. Parkrun came along, so I kind of started doing that again, because you can take the kids along to that and family thing. So yeah, I got into parkrun. Yeah, I suppose I was doing it every week. Got drawn into trying to beat your time every week, which I'm not into at all now. But at the time, I didn't. Yeah, so I did that, and then lockdown came along, really. Yeah. So it was in the second lockdown. My kids were at university. They announced it sort of straight after Christmas they were going to lock down, and the kids were like, right, I'm out of here. They'd already had the first lockdown, stuck at home, so they couldn't get away fast enough. So then I was like, oh, well, what am I going to do for the next 2-3 months? And that's when actually I was on the social media, the Running Through the Menopause popped up, like, come and see our webinar. So, and I think up to that point, I'd been starting to research sort of nutrition and strength and running, but there was so much information out there all over the place. And I didn't know what to believe and what was good and what was bad. And the first time I'd seen sort of menopause addressed in running, so there was nothing else to do. It was lockdown, so I watched your webinar. I think, Shona, you were taking it, and I thought, well, I can sign up to this because I've got all the time in the world. So I signed up, and I'm the sort of person that I thought, if I sign up, I'm all in. I'm going to just put my complete trust in you guys and the strength and the training and the plans and everything, because if you're going to do it, you've got to do it properly. So and then it kind of did change my whole outlook on running and my whole running experience, I think, from so many different ways, really.
Oh, brilliant.
Because you obviously you have a lot of experience there. I mean, that's a lot of background in running, triathlon and stuff. So what is it, do you think, you were looking for? I mean, I know you had lots of time and stuff, but you had, it sounds to me like you had quite a network anyway. So
but I think
what appealed?
we were just running. I was running everything fast still. I was still thinking I was 20, and I still had that sort of anxiety that I mustn't run slow, because if I run slow, I'll lose my fitness. And then I was starting just to research around and finding that I should maybe be doing this and should maybe be doing that, but I didn't really know what I should be doing. And so I just thought, well, this brings it all into one place, and perhaps I can learn something. And and I did. I learned a lot. So,
you were possibly, I mean, I did a lot of those strength classes in lockdown. I did most of them, to be honest. And I mean, it is a good excuse because we didn't have anything else to do. But you then continued to be consistent with the strength training, in those sessions. I mean, you were practically in every the 3 classes a week.
I tried to be, even the 7 o'clock in the morning.
Roll
out of bed at 6:45 and pretend I was awake.
That's fine. You didn't have to be awake, but you were there. So
just out of my pajamas. But I think because I realized, having done it all through the lockdown, that actually how beneficial it was. And I do like just to keep toned and feel strong, and it was obviously good on the core and the just general all over strength, and doing exercises that I probably, I can stand in my kitchen and squat and lunge, but just doing things, like the clamshells and the different exercises, the, what do you call them when you raise your pelvis up and all that sort of thing. You don't tend to do on your own, do you? So and because they were running specific exercises, and I was really started enjoying my running so much more when I was on the plan, because just running things easy just was a life changer for me. I realized that I could run things easy and still get the speed was a game changer, because I did enjoy it, but I also, being strong, it was good, and hopefully then it did help me stop getting injured.
I had you've done a lot before, but you'd never really dabbled in the strength.
Not really. I did quite a lot of circuit training at the time, and then when we started our little running club in Tembe, none of us knew what we were doing, but we did sort of do intervals. But we just made it up. We just ran up and down dunes, and none of us really knew what we were doing. But so I suppose the circuit training, it did help with strength. But then, and I've always had quite physical jobs, even like with the shops. I'm always lugging boxes around here and there and everywhere. So I have a certain amount of strength, but not specific strength to running and stuff like that. So
for running specificity. So and you do, I mean, like you say, I think it helped you run better. It helped keep you, I think this is the thing with strength though, is that no one really thinks about it. They're like, it keeps you injury free until you're not doing it. You don't see how important it is until you stop doing it, and then you get injured, and then you're like, oh man, so because I have a female runner I was working with the other day, and she got to her first marathon. She's just turned 40, and she got to her first marathon. And I said, "Oh, I'm so proud of you that you got your injury free." And she was like, then now she's injured in her training for comrades. And she said to me, she was like, "I didn't realize how important that was. When you said it to me last year, I was a bit like, Shona, like injury free, And so to really realize how important that is. And I mean, you did mention that to me, that you just feel like the strength really helped you. So you've just said it now as well, like stay injury free, and it did really help your running.
And I think being in the live classes for me, I'm not very disciplined. So if once we had to go back to work, and I would do a catch-up class, I just don't try as hard as if there's someone watching you.
Someone watching you.
Yeah. And
the pressure's on.
Yeah, and picking up on technique because you think you're okay, but you know, it's not.
I think. Sorry,
Yeah.
Nicky, just on the technique side of thing, I think that's important. You know, I mean, obviously we are sticklers for technique, and I just think, you know, that was one of the things. Your technique, I remember how it just improved over the 3 or 4 years. And eventually, if I knew you were in the class, I'd keep an eye every now and then. But your technique was really good, and we'll touch on that a little bit later with where you are in your journey, because I want to touch on that technique a little bit later with where you've moved to with your strength training. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that as well, that I think that technique it's so vital, because if you're not doing it properly, you're never going to.
Because you think you're squatting properly, but then you realise when I was joining the live classes that I wasn't. My weight was too far forward or whatever. So that was really good to have that someone watching you and just correct you, and and I think then you realise actually that you're gaining a lot more from having the good technique. So
you learn more about your body and how it works and functions.
Yeah,
that's always a good thing when you're running. Had you had many injuries then before? Had you been a bit of a roller coaster? Because 4 years ago you joined Coach Parry, so you'd have been around your 50s and stuff.
Yeah.
And so were you injury prone, or were you kind of on top of it?
Probably not, but I probably wasn't doing as much because the kids, I was still balancing kids and work and everything. So I probably wasn't running as longer distances and getting into things as much. Like when the kids left home, then that was my time to, be about me then and have proper goals, because I think it's quite hard having quite proper goals when you're running kids around and doing stuff and working full time.
You seem to do quite a lot. How many kids did you have?
I just have the two, but we do live quite rurally, so you'd have to run them around places and
and taxi service,
and they had active lives, so getting them around to their different clubs and things like that. So so you kind of snatch runs when they're in a club for an hour. You could get out and you find your windows when you're like that. But
definitely. So. And Rachel, these crazy adventures that you've been doing, I know you've done the run across Wales, then it was the run across Scotland. Tell us a little bit about those, and how, I mean, you say they like self-sufficient and self-guided almost. So
the Wales
sound crazy. They sound awesome.
The Wales one came about after the second lockdown, when we opened up, a new sort of running club had formed in Saundersfoot, where one of my shops is. So I thought, well, I'll go along to that. And I just kind of found my tribe. They were all, sort of similar age to me. And someone would suggest something. Someone suggested that they'd watched this thing on YouTube about a couple of guys running across Wales. And we laughed it off and thought, well, that's amazing. But then the sort of seed was planted and we kind of thought, well, perhaps we could. So then, the more we thought about it, we thought, well, why not? So, that's why I got a plan of Coach Parry's, and you didn't laugh at me. I think that's a nice thing about the running community. You come up with a crazy plan, and you guys didn't think, don't be stupid, you're in your 50s, you can't do that. So, so you jumped on board and gave me a plan. And we had really good support. So there's a man who runs interval sessions on a Wednesday, Mark Lee, who's actually been on Coach Parry himself for the Faster Beyond 50. So he provided the minibus support. So when we ran across, he met us in about 5 different places, and so we could refuel and change clothes, whatever if we wanted. And then there were 3 of us made it all the way across, but there was also people that joined us on legs as well, which is nice. So we had that extra sort of support. So it was a real group effort, but it was, I'd never thought I could run an ultra. It was actually about 85, just over 85k, because we got lost. It was meant to be less, but we had one leg we just couldn't. You were in Moorland and we couldn't work out where the path was. And so we got lost. But that was, I don't think I could have done that without having the knowledge from the Coach Parry, because just learning to run easy runs easy. Know you can take walk breaks. And it's not a head down and race and just take your time over it, meant that it could seem achievable. But so there was a lot of training for that. I think the hardest thing was the back-to-back training, Saturdays and Sundays. So you do a long run on a Saturday, you do a long run on a Sunday. I found that hard with work because I've got a shop. So I'd meet a friend at 6 o'clock in the morning. We do 3-4 hour run. I'd get back, people be queuing at the shop. I'd be serving people in my running vest. So,
wow.
and then work an 8-hour day and then home, and then have to do it like the next day as well.
Yes.
I think my worst when I decided to run to work because I didn't have the time to do the whole session. So I thought, well, I'll do a half marathon into work, then worked, then ran 6K home. So the run home was, I live on top of a hill as well. So yeah, I didn't do that
very
again.
hilly around your area.
Yeah, so that was a mistake. I learned from that one. But yeah, so after Wales, then, so that gave me a lot of confidence. And I actually then signed up for I just fancied doing a running holiday, actually. So,
yes.
So I found this really good company called Run the World Adventures, and I went to Morocco on my own, to join them. And we did this amazing holiday away from all the tourist areas, sort of into the Atlas Mountains. And we crossed the Atlas Mountains, ran down gorges for 2 days. And then the last 2 days in the Sahara. So the last day we ran about 30K, started at 4 a.m. So that was just an amazing experience. And I just loved it. It was kind of just very almost organic experience because we'd stepped somewhere different each night, but quite basic accommodation. But that was just part of it, really, and local food, and got invited in for tea with the Berbers as we passed by. And so that was just amazing. But I would never have done that. I would never have felt confident to do that, just go on my own. I'd have doubted whether I was good enough or fast enough. But I think running across Wales and the coach Parry just gave me that confidence to go and do that. So so that was an amazing experience. Yeah, so then we ran across Wales. So then when we were running across Wales, we said, wow, we've got to run across Scotland now. So
that was last year you did that. Yeah, 2024. Yeah,
last year. Yeah, so it was a group of, so that time we was a group of 7 women. So most of us had been involved in the Welsh thing, but we just did it on our own. So we flew up and we'd organised the accommodation ourselves. We did the Great Glen Way, which is quite a sort of well-known route, but it's very beautiful. But we have this thing that if we're running across a country, we have to go from the edge of the country to the edge of the country. So the first day when we had the first day free, we actually did about 5-mile run to the coast just to say we had actually run across.
Okay.
And then and then it was roughly about 30K each day. I think our longest day was 37K. It was hot. We'd packed these massive bags full of waterproofs and woolly hats.
Which is very sensible when you go to Scotland running, to be fair.
Yeah, I was just about to say, is this when you're in the Sahara or in Scotland? So,
Scotland.
And normally you need the midgie repellent. And
we had all that. We had all that. And we flew up and got off the plane and it was like 24 degrees. And it was like that all week. So actually the last day we ran, I think it was about 26 degrees. So it was hot. But it was beautiful. It was great. Glen Way is beautiful. It follows Loch Ness and you climb over moorland and woodlands. And it was just really stunning scenery. In fact, some of the path they were working on the flatter bit, so they kept sending us up the side.
So you have to run up.
You got the views, but and then at the end, I don't know, for some stupid reason, or 3 of the party with 7 ladies, so the average age I think is 53 or 54. So it did feel quite empowering because we'd done it all ourselves. We didn't really advertise it. It was just we just went and did it. And so 3 decided at the end. We had a free day at the end. They were going to climb Ben Nevis, and 4 of us went and did the Fort William Park run. So.
Oh wow!
And we all decided, right, we're going to take this really slowly, nice and easy. And of course, as soon as they said go, 2 charged off. 2 of the younger ones, and then I thought, oh shit! So I did 20 about 27:30 on the power run at the end. Yeah, but it was fun. It was just a silly thing to do at the end. Yeah. So but again, it felt quite. Enjoyed it. It wasn't pushing the pace, but there wasn't, we had to carry all our own. I think nutrition was quite key on that because there wasn't really anywhere to stop for food on the way. Once you on each leg.
Stopped on the way.
No, I think we got 1 ice cream like 4 miles from the end on the last day. But otherwise, you had to make sure. So I'm quite a fan of. I just quite like making my own trail mix with nuts and dried fruit and chocolate and maybe some salted peanuts and stuff. So I just tend to have a bag of that and snack every time you're walking uphill, but then we'd have to take sandwiches and things as well. But so getting that right, and obviously the hydration because it was hot. So I tend to just I had in my running vest I have the bladder down the back, and then I'd have electrolyte drinks on the front just to but we could fill up water. We did manage to research where to fill up water, but so you are quite we've got someone to move our bags for us, but you're quite independent once you're running with that.
Well, it's nice not to have to carry the huge, big, heavy bags, really.
Yeah,
especially in the heat. It sounds an awesome run, actually. I'm thinking I've never done that part in Scotland.
Yeah,
but now you're moving down to England.
Well, yeah, because we've done Wales and Scotland, it has to be done. So so in June we're going to run the Hadrian's Way. So we're going west coast to east coast, but the Hadrian's Way doesn't actually touch the coast. So the first day we're going to after it's about 20k from the coast to the start of the Hadrian's Way, and then at the end when we get to Newcastle, it's about another 20. I think it's 23k to the coast there. So, but we're going to do the Hadrian's Way of about 5 days, just so we can actually look at some of the forts and things along the way and enjoy it. Yeah, so that's our next.
So, how's training been going for that then?
Yeah, okay. I was meant to be doing an ultra. I'd actually signed up to an ultra in February, but I was getting once I got in about an hour and a half, 2 hours of training, I was getting niggles sort of down my buttock and down the back of my legs. So I thought, I better go and see a physio, just get advice whether I should be doing this ultra or not. And I actually went to see a really good physio, and he thought I had hamstring tendinopathy. But what he was interesting, he said that I wasn't weak, I was actually quite strong, which is a relief because I've been to physios in the past and they just kept telling me, you're weak, do squats. And I was like, I was thinking, well, I've been doing strength training for 3 years. I can't be that weak. And then he actually asked me how well I was sleeping. So, and I'd actually been sleeping really, really badly. For about 2-3 months, I felt tired, but I just wasn't getting to sleep. So, and he said, well, lack of sleep can cause inflammation. And that can be related to menopause with your hormones all over the place. So I kind of found that really interesting because I don't know, often when you get injured, you tend to blame your running. You think, oh, I've not done the strength training or I've run too hard. And so I think running was a factor, but it was just also interesting that there's other things at play there as well. It wasn't just the running. So I didn't feel as guilty. So he suggested, I thought I should have that conversation with a man. And I think there's a guy down on the south coast, I think Bournemouth, called the Running Physio, and he'd been on a course with him about menopause and running, actually. So I thought, the guy. So that was really good. It was almost a bit like a counselling session anyway. So so he said go and speak to your doctor, and I asked the doctor, was he right about lack of sleep and inflammation? And she said, yeah, that it can cause inflammation. So so I just found that really interesting that it wasn't just me. But he did say don't run the ultra because if you aggravate things, take a long time to recover from inflamed tendons. So you keep running, but just listen to your body. So if you find you're pushing the distance and it starts niggling, then drop back a bit. So I've been doing that for the last few weeks. But so then the doctor, she did say, and she did blood tests as well and found out I was iron deficient. And actually, I think I've probably been sleeping better since being on the iron. I don't know if that's related or not.
Yeah, you can get poor sleep with iron deficiency as well. So if you've got both of those it all interrelates, doesn't it, really?
But, so I think the menopause, the hormones was probably causing, the lack of sleep. And then that was and then obviously they had low iron. And so that was just really interesting. So it wasn't just me overtraining or undertraining.
So now you're sleeping better.
I am sleeping better. I do wake up 2 or 3 times a night, but that's way better than I was. I was just not sleeping, and I was
terrible at that stage. It's terrible.
Yeah, and you're still trying to train because you've got this ultra on.
Yeah,
and you're tired, and looking back
at everything hard, and so much harder just to do and stuff, and you just
so actually. The injury was actually good because it was a wake-up call from someone telling me that perhaps you need to see a doctor about this, whereas I probably would have just struggled on otherwise. So so that was
that's I think there's so much value in that, just listening to your body and going, oh, something's not right here, going to get it checked out, I think is key. And we say this so often on the podcast, the constant fatigue and all of these things, which we often just blame on, like you say, on your running or even menopause. Menopause, I'm tired, when in actual fact it's probably got to do with the fact that you're not eating properly, not sleeping, and those are things that we can control. So I think there's so much value in that, Rachel. Thank you for mentioning that. I think that's so key. And other sort of aspects of your journey through menopause, if you're happy to share. I mean, any other struggles with running and dealing with menopause in your journey? If you want to recover from sessions faster, not feel tired all the time, run pain and injury free, and improve your endurance, then be sure to join me in my upcoming training specifically for female runners over the age of 45. In it, I'll share with you my simple 5-step framework that'll transform your running. Simply scan the QR code on screen now or click on the link in the description to save your seats in the training now. We look forward to seeing you there.
Yeah, I'm actually quite late in menopause. So I'm a bit unusual. I'm still in perimenopause, so I still do have periods, but I do find that I get very, very tired. Maybe the week, 2 weeks even leading up to it. So just kind of fighting that. I still get out and do stuff, but it's just a lot harder. So I think I've struggled with that a bit. But then afterwards, you sort of back to feeling okay again. So so I think that's probably been the biggest struggle for me, is just the tiredness, really. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And adapting that in your training, I mean, you just sort of ease off and recover a little bit more.
Probably. Yeah. So I have days where I just think, okay, it's probably not wise to train today, but it's hard because I do a lot of social running. So you want to meet up with people, and your social life as is from a mental health point of view, it's just nice to meet up with people and run, and you don't want to let them down if you're running. So you do tend to battle on a bit as well. So
definitely.
And so you've always done the strength training with Coach Parry, but now you were saying just before we came on recording this that you've actually started a beginner's CrossFit.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So, because again, I was looking at all everyone's saying you need to lift heavy as you get older, and I thought, well, actually, seeing as I'm still in perimenopause, I can get ahead of the game a bit here. So, so I started going to CrossFit, which is can be a bit scary and a bit intimidating, but I go to a beginner's class, and the gym I go to is they're very good. So you practice technique with plastic pipes first, and so they make sure you get your technique, and I don't get drawn into lifting heavy. I'll go with what's in my capacity, and they'd much prefer that you did 3 or 4 reps good than push out 30 reps. But I enjoy it because it's also, I've not done anything with weights before, so I'm quite enjoying that. I've got weak arms, so I need to build that up. But I think doing the strength training with Coach Parry over 3 or 4 years, I've reasonably strong core and legs, and so I'm okay at certain aspects of it. I'm okay at. So and I quite enjoy learning the strength side of things, and then you get the cardio mixed in with it as well, because you do the rowing, and now it's the summer, you're doing quite a bit of running, and I can run, so so I'm okay at that. I can beat some of the youngsters who can lift really heavy at that. So so you've got your strengths and weaknesses in everything, and so I think it's, again, definitely the 3 years with Coach Parry and learning the technique and things, and they'll start with the world's greatest stretch or squats or lunges just to warm up, and I can do that.
You could do that.
So I'm okay then.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the absolute thing with CrossFit, and I mean, we would love to be able to do heavier lifting, but I just can't figure out a way to do it remotely and ensuring that everyone is safe, so but yes, I love that you are lifting heavier than you were with us, and I think it is important, but I like that you say, not doing more reps for the sake of more reps, ensuring your technique is correct, so I think all of that is so vital. Have you found, Rachel, how's the CrossFit affected your running? Has it affected the running at all, whether
definitely. So I've been going consistently. I sort of started just before Christmas, but I've been going consistently twice a week since Christmas. So and then I've actually started High Rocks on the Saturday morning as well. That's another story.
That's just the gate. That's CrossFit is just a gateway drug to High Rocks. So really,
but I just actually, I feel quite strong from it. Like all over my body, I feel quite strong, and I also feel quite energized from it. It sounds strange, but so I do feel quite energized. So I did go and do a sort of 5K the other day, and I managed to get under 25. So I'm always happy, to get under 25. It's sort of a bit of a milestone for me. So so I did that just locally, and then I did a 10K multi-train run on last Sunday. It was just a low-key charity 10K run, but I managed 54 something on that. So that was through soft sand and over rocks. Amazing. And up on the coast bell. So and I do think it was the CrossFit just and the background of strength just giving me that extra edge really, and just feeling strong all over. So yeah, so it's definitely
absolutely
helped. Yeah.
So you do 2 CrossFits, 1 high rock session?
Well, I started, yeah, so I am aware that I need to not overload. But then it also, because it involves now in the summer, so it kind of ticks the intervals box a bit as well for running, because you do interval, you do 400-meter sprints, and well, with the high rocks you do kilometer loops and stuff mixed in between. But every session is different as well, so you kind of mix up different things. But yeah, but I get a bit of buzz out of the high rocks because I think I can run some, like I can overtake people that I'm in awe of. In other way, I'm in awe of them and they can lift this much, but then I think, I can catch you on a run. So
it kind of evens things out, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the cardio side of things I'm okay at. So yeah.
Do you find with the amount of strength you're doing, and you've actually been doing it for a long time now with Coach Parry and then progressing on, that you don't need to run as much, but you can still holding that 25 minutes 5K that you're saying about? And
yeah, well, I'm running about 3 times a week. So I'll do, in the running club I'm in, we social run usually about 50 minutes on a Tuesday morning, and we do a long Sunday run. And then, there are interval sessions I can go to as well on a Wednesday night that Mark, who did helped us with the run across Wales, so he runs those. So yeah, I'm running about 3 times a week, and then putting 2 strengths, well, the CrossFits in as well, and then if I'm feeling it, I'll do the high rocks.
But still managing 54 minutes.
So 2 of those, so 2 of those runs are only nice easy pace, so that's good. I think the trouble is you struggle sometimes with your easy runs. If there's someone faster than you in the group, it can be quite hard to run them easy. I can struggle with that sometimes. That was what was so nice in lockdown. You could stick to the plan and stick to your pace. And then out of lockdown, you've got all these other factors that can affect, and you shouldn't be running that fast.
How do you deal with that if somebody is running in a group? This is the thing I always
hard.
have.
I find it hard.
Because you don't want to say, I'm in a new town and there's a run club here, and I haven't gone down as much because I don't want to keep saying, actually, you said you were all going to run at this pace, but now you're all running a minute a mile faster.
It's a social thing, and there's a lady who's joined recently, and she's an amazing runner, and she's won ultras and been in Kona and stuff, and I'll say I need to run a bit slower, but her slow, her slow pace is my fast pace. But so it is hard because you want to try and run easy. I don't know, how do you do it?
I kind of struggle. I kind of hold it back, or I tend to just run a little bit more on my own, I suppose.
It's that balance, isn't it?
And it is difficult. Up in Edinburgh, I just had a group, and it was always easy, and down here it's been a little bit harder to
but the easy ones in the group shove me
because
forward.
they also look, but also they'll look at you and go, well, you can run a 25-minute 5K, so you can run this fast. And it's like, but that's not the point. I want to run really easy, especially if you're doing those strength trainings, CrossFit,
everything else. So in your mind, you shouldn't be going that fast, but then it's just hard.
So Rachel, I think just send them the She Runs Strong podcast so they can learn how beneficial easy runs are, or making sure their runs feel easy. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, what I do, and it's just not as social, but at least because I used to run with a lot of the athletes that Lindsay, our head coach, used to coach, and they were winning comrades and so on. And so I definitely am not running at that pace. And so we'd start together. So that's always nice to know that you're starting with someone, and then Caroline would just sort of come back and fetch me, so she would run ahead, and then she'd run back and run past me and chat for 2 seconds and run on again. So that's the most social I think you can get out of it, because then at least you're all in that sort of you're running, so it's still there, but at least everyone's kind of sticking to their own pace, and so obviously every time she came running back, I'd have good posture and make sure you're looking good, but so that would be the best sort of way. And just in my journey coming back as well, I mean, I'm nowhere near as the speeds that I was before COVID, but so learning and just dealing with it leaving the ego, I think, a little bit is quite key. But it's nice to be social though. That's the aspect.
It gets you out the door. And I think they find the same with the strength. Actually, the thing about I was better in the live classes. I am better in like the CrossFit. I'm better in a class than if I was just to go to the gym and lift on my own. You're not as motivated. I'm more motivated in the class. So,
because we're all underlying competitive. So that's the thing. Even though I'm not competing against. I always joke about this. Like I'm not competing against other people, but it is always
it is always that. And I think, and I'm probably one of the oldest in the class. So something about
then it's even more so.
With younger people.
Well, firstly, you want to keep up, don't you? And then secondly, you kind of want to show that you can do it. And I think there's a little bit added pressure when you are over your 50s and stuff, and you're like, right, okay.
You've got something to prove.
But that's hopefully what we provide in Coach Parry a wee bit is community and support for folks who all come together and albeit we might be slightly competitive, and hopefully we're still providing a safe environment that people can learn, which we really have in this event.
It was good, and having the forum and just being able to ask questions, and it was good. I got a lot out of it.
Good. Rachel, so we focused on strength. You've touched on keeping your easy runs easy. Any other aspects that you felt that were maybe like non-negotiables for these runs you're doing, for your success, for your venturing into CrossFit? I guess essentially giving advice to anyone else who's kind of listening to the podcast.
It's just being consistent, really. Make yourself get out. I mean, in Wales we have a lot of rain, so it can be hard to get out. I hate the cold.
We have a lot of
but you just you wake up and it's raining. You still got to get out and do it. And once you've got out and done it, you're fine. And for me, having decent kit, because I do feel the cold, so I just made sure. Then I went and got a decent raincoat, and got sick of getting wet and cold. And I'll often carry my running vest with extra clothes, and I hardly ever put them on, but it's just that peace of mind that if you're on a long run and you can get caught out in a shower or whatever, then at least you've got the kit to manage that and keep warm. So that side of things. Nutrition, I guess. I eat. I eat all the time. So I'm lucky. I've always managed to keep skinny, but I just eat. But I think that's really important. I personally, I need to fuel before a run and after a run, and eat all the time. But hopefully I eat fairly healthily. But I learned quite a lot again, Coach Parry, about nutrition and protein and that side of things. So that all helped.
Good.
So, good stuff. Excellent.
Amazing. Yeah. So look, I think, if from me watching you, your inspiration to me is, just go out there. I love that there's 7 ladies who are average age 53 running across Scotland, running across England. I think it's phenomenal. And, I definitely want to be like that and ensure that life is continually active. And so from my side, that's inspirational to me. So thank you for that. And so I hope everyone else who's been listening also just sees that these, menopause and hormones and all these things can have play a role in wreaking havoc a little bit, but these things are still feasible and they're still fun, and there's still there's still things we can do to help us to keep living those sorts of lives. So so from my side, definitely thank you for that. Nicky, anything else from your side that you want to maybe?
Cool. Oh, I love it. I want to come and run Hadrian's. You speak my language. It's just like they just sound like awesome adventures, and I love that you're just really embracing those adventures, and they just sound fantastic. And you've just sounds like you have found your way into being able to do stuff that just really inspires you, and it's great that you've got such a nice group that you can do.
I think that's part of it, is finding the right group.
And that can take really well. So it sounds
that can be luck, I suppose. But we all look out for each other, and you get quite a strong bond with people that you've shared an event like that with. So
absolutely.
I think that's quite a special thing to have.
Well, I really hope the sun shines for you this evening, because
I hope so. I'm not
North of England isn't often the sunniest place either.
I just have to take that big suitcase and hope for the best. But it's good. yeah.
No, brilliant. No, Rachel, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story and the things that have worked for you, the strength, the nutrition, all of those things. I hope people got a ton of value from it today. As I mentioned, it's inspirational for me in itself. So but thank you for your time today. And I hope everyone got lots of value. And so we will see you all again next week. Nikki, thank you for your time today as well. And Rachel, as always, nice to catch up, and we'll see you guys all soon.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.